Wiring your subwoofers for more bass. When it comes to wiring your subwoofers, you can wire your subwoofers in two ways. There's series wiring and then there's parallel wiring. Series wiring is where you will be pulling less power coming from your amplifier going to your subwoofers. While with parallel wiring, you will be getting more power from out of your amplifier for your subwoofers. So if you have your subwoofers wired incorrectly and also to your amplifier, just know that you will be losing a lot of bass performance and your subwoofers won't be getting the full performance it should be getting. So in today's video, I'll be showing you guys the best way that you guys can wire your subwoofers to your amplifier to get the most power to push your subwoofers. So make sure you guys drop a like on the video, subscribe if you guys are new, and let's jump right into the video. So I have three different types of amplifier here. I have one 4-channel amplifier here, also have one 2-channel amplifier here, and I also have one mono amplifier here. Now when it comes to hooking up your subwoofers to your amplifier, what most people think is that when your amplifier only have two outputs like this, they think that you can only wire one subwoofer to that amplifier, but that's not the case. You can wire any amount of subwoofers to that amplifier once the amplifier can handle the final impedance to where you wire your subwoofers. So for example, let's say that this is a 1 ohm stable amplifier here. Where I would want to wire my subwoofers at is either from 1 ohm or higher. So these subwoofers can either be wired down to 1 ohm, 2 ohms, 4 ohms, 8 ohms, once your amplifier can handle that specific ohm load. Otherwise, if you hook up your subwoofers to a lower ohm load to where your amplifier cannot handle, your amplifier will just be overheating very fast and go into protect mode. So you have to be careful on how you have your subwoofers wired to your amplifier. Now the same concept will applies for your 2-channel amplifier and your 4-channel amplifier. You guys can also wire your subwoofers on your 4-channel amplifier and your 2-channel amplifier. Once again, once your amplifier can handle the final impedance of your subwoofers. And now on most 2-channel amplifiers and 4-channel amplifiers, you guys will see 4 connections. With these 4 connections now, there will be left and right. But for your subwoofers, you guys would want your subwoofers to play in one, not left and right separate. So for a quick example now, so the mono amplifiers will be most suitable for your subwoofers since it's only playing in one and not left and right. But for your 2-channel amplifiers now and your 4-channel amplifier, you guys can make your subwoofers into a mono by bridging your amplifier. And what the bridge mode does on your amplifier is that it will be combining the 2 channels on your amplifier into one, which will double the power. So for example, let's say that this amplifier is a 600 watts amplifier. With the 600 watts here, it will be divided into 2. So the connection over here will be getting half of the 600 watts, which will be 300 watts, and the connection over here will be getting the next 300 watts. So they will be divided. When we bridge the amplifier now, combining the 2 channels together now, we'll be getting a full power of 600 watts. So the 300 watts plus the 300 watts will be combining together when we bridge the amplifier. The same goes for your 4-channel amplifier as well. With the 4-channel amplifier is just an extra set of 2 channels on that 4-channel amplifier. So the same concept applies for your 4-channel amplifier also. What I would recommend for y'all to do is to know the specs on your amplifier as well. Most bridge mode on your 2-channel and 4-channel amplifier, they can only handle a final impedance of 4 ohms or higher. Anything below that 4 ohms, you will just send your amplifier into protect mode. So when it comes to your amplifier specs, you guys will definitely have to know what ohm load your amplifiers can handle. So with the lower impedance coming from your subwoofers to your amplifiers, you will be getting more power coming from your amplifier, which will also produce more heat. But with the higher impedance, you will be getting less power coming from your amplifier, which will produce less heat. So generally, depending on your amplifier, a 1 ohm load will be twice as loud as a 2 ohm load, while a 2 ohm load will be twice as loud as a 4 ohm load. Okay, so now I'll be showing you guys how to wire one single double voice coil subwoofer to your amplifier to get the most power from your amplifier. Then I will be showing you guys how to wire 2 double voice coils subwoofers together now to get the most power coming from your amplifier. Now, if you guys have a 1 ohm stable amplifier, to get the most power out of that amplifier, you will need to wire your subwoofer in parallel. So this is coil 1, coil 2. Connect the positive from coil 1 to the positive on coil 2. Connect the negative from coil 1 to the negative on coil 2. Connect the positive coming from coil 1 to the positive on the amplifier. Connect the negative from coil 2 to the negative on the amplifier. This wiring is called parallel wiring. So since this subwoofer is a dual 4 ohm subwoofer, the final impedance on the subwoofer will be at 2 ohms. And if this subwoofer was a dual 2 ohm subwoofer, the final impedance on the subwoofer will be at 1 ohm. Now to wire your 2 double voice coil subwoofers in parallel, this will be coil 1, coil 2, coil 1, coil 2. Connect the negative from coil 1 to the negative on coil 2 on both subwoofers. Connect the positive from coil 1 to the positive on coil 2 on both subwoofers. Connect the negative from coil 2 to the negative on coil 1 on the other subwoofer to the negative to the amplifier. Connect the positive from coil 2 to the positive on coil 2 on the other subwoofer to the positive to the amplifier. This wiring is called parallel wiring. So since these subwoofers are 2 dual 4 ohm subwoofer, the final impedance on these subwoofer will be at 1 ohm. And if these were 2 dual 2 ohm subwoofer, the final impedance on these subwoofer will be at 0.5 ohms. So with this parallel wiring, you will get the most power out of your amplifier. Okay, so to start off your wiring, this is coil 1, this is coil 2. Connect the negative from coil 1 to the positive on coil 2. Connect the positive from coil 1 to the positive on your amplifier. Connect the negative from coil 2 to the negative on your amplifier. This wiring is called series wiring. So since this subwoofer is a dual 4 ohm subwoofer, the final impedance on this subwoofer will be at 8 ohms. And if this subwoofer was a dual 2 ohm subwoofer, the final impedance on the subwoofer will be at 4 ohms. Now to wire your 2 dual voice coil subwoofers together now, this is coil 1, coil 2, coil 1, coil 2. Connect the negative from coil 1 to the positive on coil 2 on each subwoofer. Positive from one sub to the positive on the other subwoofer to the positive to the amplifier. Connect the negative from one sub to the negative on the other subwoofer to the negative to the amplifier. This wiring is called series parallel. So since these subwoofers are 2 dual 4 ohm subwoofer, the final impedance on these subwoofer will be at 4 ohms. And if these subwoofers were 2 dual 2 ohm subwoofer, the final impedance on these subwoofer will be at 2 ohms. With your subwoofers being wired in series, you will be pulling less power coming from your amplifier. And that's the way on how to wire your subwoofers to your amplifier. So if you guys find this video very helpful, be sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe if you guys are new, and I really appreciate the support y'all be showing me lately. Big shout out to all of y'all guys. Make sure you guys have a good day. I'll be catching you guys in my next video. Love y'all guys.